What's up, beautiful, good-looking huddlers? Rawlin out of here, Rountree. Listen, I got a spoon. I got a calculator. In a few minutes, y'all gonna learn how that y'all gonna be able to lose the equivalent amount of weight as if you fasted for 40 days. But here's the cool thing. You're not gonna have to go 100% plant-based, and I'm not even gonna ask you to exercise. You ready? Comment down below if you're ready. Let's roll that intro.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Daily Huddle. How is everybody today? I hope you are having a fantastic day. Hello, everybody on Facebook land, everybody on the Daily Huddle. It is always a pleasure when I can see and talk to you every day. My name is Rountree, and my co-host, Rawlin Vanatta. We are the co-host of the Health, Wellness, and Vitality Show, and we bring you information to improve your health and wellness and vitality every Tuesday morning on the Daily Huddle. And today, you are gonna love it. Wouldn't you like to know what you can do every day that will give you the equivalence of going 40 days with no food whatsoever? What? You can't do that? Ha! Pay attention. You are going to see not only can you do it, it's really not that hard to do. But before we get to that, got a couple questions for you. First question goes to Stan the Man. Stan the Man, Stan the Man. How are you today, my brother?
I am relaxed because I am as I say I am.
I love it. I love it. You are as you say you are, and today you are relaxed. That's
relaxed.
That's what I'm talking about. Next question goes to Sorrel. Sorrel, where are you, my man? Where are you?
I'm here. Look, watch this. I'm still here. I'm here, the only place anyone can ever be.
It's here, right here.
You are here.
Here.
That's the only place that you can be, is here. You are as you say you are. And the time is now.
Right now.
The time is now. The only time that you can have an impact on your life is the now. Tomorrow hadn't gotten here yet, and it ain't promised. Yesterday, you cannot change. Live in the now. Live in the now. Rawlin, what are you proud of today?
I'm proud of being able to share something so ridiculously simple that will move the needle for people's weight loss more than any other thing they possibly could do. That's what I'm proud of. Having that knowledge to be able to share with people. I'm proud of that.
Well, on that note, let's get ready to get into it. You know, we are in the middle of a weight loss challenge right now, and we have the pleasure of having an impact on people's lives. Our business of coaching people to improve their health starts with a 5-day challenge. And during that 5 days, we tell people that you can eat as much as you want, literally as much as you want, and you're going to lose weight in 5 days. People think we're lying when they first hear that. I remember my first appearance here on the Daily Huddle when my question was, how is it possible that you can eat as much as you want and lose weight? And Gio told me he thought that I was pulling a fast one and it wasn't going to be possible. And he has become a fan. And what you're going to learn today is really equally as impressive as that, because we eat so much and we eat so regularly and we consume things that we don't always know we are consuming, because food is so plentiful and we love food that tastes good. We all do. And when we're hungry and we have a food available that tastes good, that's what we eat. But if we just keep our eye open for a few things, it can have a lifelong impact on your weight and your health. What you got for us today, Rawlin?
Anybody got a tablespoon? I bet y'all have a tablespoon. I bet y'all have one. I bet y'all have a spoon in your house. I bet you use a spoon to stir your coffee, unless you had one of them fancy doohickers that went. And I bet that there's a lot of people out there watching on Facebook. I bet that you would probably say that if I told you that you could take one spoon and you could remove, like you would probably, if we put food in a tablespoon, I want y'all to imagine this for a second. Imagine putting food in a tablespoon. And don't worry, I'm going to tell you what kind of food you can do this with. But you put it in a tablespoon and you put it in the tablespoon twice, and you just removed that from your diet for 1 year. At the end of the year, it would be absolutely equivalent for you not to eat for 40 days. Now I'm going to ask y'all a question. I want y'all to type in the Facebook chat if you're watching. If you're watching here on Zoom, type in the chat. And this is the question I have for you. Has anyone ever tried to lose weight and then gained it back? Just type in chat. Say me, if you've ever tried to lose weight and then you gained it back. I'm going to ask you another question. I'm going to ask you to say me if you've ever worked really hard. You worked really hard to lose weight. Just say me. And it was slow and it was painful and it was difficult. For example, what I'm going to show you today is going to be the equivalent of running 40 minutes a day all year long. 40 minutes a day all year long. Okay? Now think about that. Who wants to run 40 extra minutes, right? You want to burn enough to have the equivalent of not eating for 40 days? Well, let's do some stuff. We're going to pull up a calculator. Like, y'all probably think it'd be better just remove 2 of these from your diet than it would be to run 40 minutes a day. Wave at me if that's true. Like, you think that's probably way easier to do. Just remove 2 of these a day rather than run for 40 minutes a day all year long. All right? Y'all probably like, Rawlin, you're blowing smoke. No, I'm not. I'm going to show you with hard math right here. And anybody can do this math with me. Okay? If you want to, just pull up your calculator, get it ready, because what we're going to do, I'm going to zoom this in. And this is what's going to happen. I'm getting some waves. That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay. Y'all can see my calculator, I believe. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so y'all can see it just a little bit better. Make sure it's really nice and clear. We're going to do this puppy together. Now, one thing we do in our Red Line Challenge, and y'all can't join it right now anyway, So don't feel like that I'm trying to solicit you into it right now because you can't join. We're in the middle of one. But one thing in the Red Line Challenge is we give people a sheet, a big cheat sheet. And what it is we show them and we share with them a principle called crowded calories. Okay. And what are crowded calories? Well, a lot of people believe, and most of us, who all has believed at one point in time that you need to shrink your portions in order to lose weight? Wave at me if you shrink your portions in order to lose weight. Eat less food and then you'll lose weight. Well, that's fine and dandy. But anybody know one of them little old 2-ounce bags of Doritos? Anybody ever seen them little bitty ones? They got like it feels like a feather's inside of them. They're filled about a quarter of the way filled, right? Did you know that if you y'all think anybody think they can eat 2 of those? Does anybody think they could eat 2 of them little tiny bags? Right? Wave at me if you can eat the 2 little bags. Wave at me if you could eat 2 entire cantaloupes. Or would you get full? Oh, you think you eat 2 full? Okay, so that's great. Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, can you eat 3 of them little bitty bags? Can you eat 3 of them little bitty bags? Yeah. Can you eat 6 whole cantaloupes? Probably can't eat 6 of them, right? Well, the equivalent of 3 of them little bags of Doritos in calories is the equivalent of 6 entire cantaloupes. Rawlin, thought we was talking about spoons, not cantaloupes, not Doritos. What makes the difference between the Doritos or the Lay's potato chips or the donut more so than the cantaloupe or the watermelon or all these plant-based foods we're always talking about?
Fats and salt.
But well, that's it. Fats. Stan knows it. It's the fat. And where's that fat come from? It comes from oil, because there is no food on planet Earth that has a higher amount of calories that fits into a smaller container than oil. In fact, it's so bad that boneless, skinless chicken is about 700-800, okay, calories per pound. Do you know what oil is? 4,000 calories per pound. Okay? Y'all hear me? Boneless, skinless chicken, right? So y'all think y'all eating healthy when you're grilling out the grilled chicken. You're baking the chicken. Well, what are you putting on it? Putting a little bit of oil on it. Keep it from sticking, ain't you? Raising that calorie density like mad, right? You think, oh, I'm gonna eat vegetables, right? A lot of times you see fat vegans, I call them. Why do I say fat vegans? So that's vegans that are overweight. And they're like, well, people's like, well, see, vegan diets doesn't necessarily lead to a lower weight. You're right. Because oil can be vegan. But I'm not interested in turning you away from animal products for the sake of turning you away from animal products, right? There's people out there that does that. Go for it. What I'm interested in you is stepping on the scale and seeing it go down if that's what you want it to do. I'm interested in you looking in front of the mirror with your Speedo on, with your swimsuit on, with your bikini on, and you being like, holy crap, I look freaking amazing. All right? GM knows what I'm talking about. All right. So what we're going to do is, if you look at a thing of oil, okay? If you look at a thing of oil, somebody shout out to me and tell me what number that is right there. Can someone tell me?
120.
120. That's right. So at 120, that is per tablespoon. So of any kind of oil, because it's 100% fat, you're going to have 120 calories per tablespoon. So we're going to do some math. Let's pretend like you remove 1 tablespoon of oil. Okay, and then we're going to double it. So we're going to say 2 tablespoons worth of oil. Let's say you remove only 2 tablespoons worth of oil a day. That's it. I'm not asking you to go plant-based. I'm not asking you to stop every single packaged food that you ever eat. I'm not asking you any of that stuff. What I'm asking you to do is to remove 2 tablespoons of oil a day. You're like, Rawlin, I don't eat 2 tablespoons of oil a day. Oh, I beg to differ. Reckon how much all that bread and a chicken tender soaks up of oil. If you take bread and you submerge it in liquid, how much? It's like a sponge, isn't it? Wave at me if you know what I'm talking about. Right? You ever sopped? You ever like taken bread and sopped it in some kind of liquid? It's just like a sponge, ain't it? So if you take a roll and you dip it in oil, how many tablespoons in that single bite? Well, you might get a half a tablespoon in that single bite. How many bites you gonna use, right? Anybody ever put oil on their salad? Wait a minute. Look what I've got. I got some creamy Caesar right here next to me. Well, what's this creamy Caesar? Let's look. Okay, let's look real close at the first ingredient. Y'all ready for it? Here we go. Can anybody see that right there? Soybean oil, very first ingredient. By the way, it's 170 calories per tablespoon. What? It's even more. Per 2 tablespoons. Okay. So the only thing that makes it less is that there's water in there. Because you think otherwise. Okay. Now I want y'all to get with me here for a second. How many of y'all has ever tried to eat healthy, started eating a salad, and poured some Caesar, some ranch dressing, some honey mustard, some zesty Italian dressing? Wave at me if you've ever put some of that stuff on your salad. How many of y'all ever went to a restaurant and you get one of them little bitty cups that they put on the side and you pour it on there? One of them little cups. Y'all know what I'm talking about? One of them little cups. That's 2 ounces. That's 2 tablespoons. Guess what? Think about this for a second. How many do you put on there? You put more than 1? Come on, you ask for at least 2, right? Sometimes you ask for 3, right? How many tablespoons of oil you actually eating? Y'all ever ordered a cheese pizza or something? You order a pizza from it and you look at it and you see all that grease laying right on the top. Y'all ever done that? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Right? Wonder how much is in per every single piece when they put the olive oil in it, right? Have y'all ever been to an Italian restaurant where they drizzle it with olive oil? Right? You ever go to a pasta? You ever had a pesto? Guess what? That base is olive oil. Guess what? Y'all ever had some good old Southern white gravy, white pepper gravy? If you ever had any white pepper gravy, what do you do to start making it? You put oil in the bottom of the skillet. You brown that. You throw the flour, right? Listen to what I'm saying here. There's oil in everything. So when I tell you removing 2 tablespoons of oil a day is so easy, it's ridiculous. Because you're getting way more than 2 tablespoons of oil a day in your diet. Okay? So y'all ready to do the calculation? Let's do this calculation. Let's tie this thing up. All right. Let's get this right. Make sure y'all can see it good. All right. Let's see here. Let me make sure it's really nice and clear. Make sure y'all see I'm not doing no funny business. Okay? Okay. So a tablespoon of oil is 120 calories. So we're going to times that by 2 for 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons, that's 240. Y'all see the 240, right? Y'all see the 240. Okay, we're going to just break that. We're just going to do that for 7 days to begin with. Okay, so no oil for 7 days. Okay, y'all see that's 240 times 70. Times 7 for 7 days. 1,680 calories. That's pretty much a day's worth of calories. So that's you fasting a whole day, basically, per week. 2 tablespoons a day, okay? But the recommended is 2,000 calories a day. So we're not going to break it down like that yet. So we're going to do times 7. So that's 1,680. How many weeks are they? Sorrel or Gio, tell me how many weeks they are in a year.
52.
52. Okay, so we got. So every week we're going to cut out 1,680 calories. So we're going to times that by 52. Someone say out loud what this number is right here.
87,360 fat calories, man.
That's right. 87,360 purely fat calories. And all we removed. So that's that. Let's see what the equivalent of that is. Hold on. Y'all ready for it? So we're going to divide that by 2,000. Why are we going to divide that by 2,000? We're going to divide that by 2,000 because 2,000 is a standard calories per day, right? So if you don't eat a whole day, you're probably going to cut out that. You ready? All right, here we go. Y'all ready for it? 87,360 divided by, ready for it? 365. No, I'm sorry.
43.63 days.
That's right. Is that not insanity? Is that not insanity? 43 days. So it's not even 40 days. So let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all think it'd be easy to not eat for an entire 40 days throughout the year? Or remove 2 tablespoons of oil a day out of your diet for a year? Which one do you think would be easier? Let me ask you a question. Do you think it'd be easier? Because if you run for 40 minutes, you burn 240 calories. Guess what 240 calories is? The equivalent of 2 tablespoons. What's easier, removing 2 tablespoons a day or running for 40 minutes? People strapped for time, right? Anybody ever heard anybody say, man, I just ain't got no time for exercise. I just ain't got no time for exercise, right? Anybody ever heard that from anybody? If you ever heard yourself say that, or you ever had it, or you ever here, let me ask you a question. What takes longer? Exercising for 40 minutes or removing 2 tablespoons of oil a day? Right? What's easier? What's simpler?
Elementary, my dear Rawlin.
How crazy is that? I'm sorry, Sir Al.
It's an elementary, my dear Rawlin.
That's right. Right? It's absolutely insanity. Right? But here's the deal. Here's what you do. Go to your kitchen cabinet, throw away your oil. Eat everything the same. Next week, come back and tell me you didn't lose weight. Don't cook with it. Don't use it. Keep everything the same and tell me you didn't lose weight. It's pretty much mathematically impossible. Perhaps unless you are only eating fast food where they're just fries all the time, right? See, people look at fries and they say, oh man, you can't eat them because of the carbs. Man, the carbs ain't the problem. Them taters ain't the problem when it comes to calories. It's all those potatoes were cooked in. Someone sees a potato chip. They say, oh man, look at those carbs. Hey, it ain't that carbs. That's not the problem. It's the oil those chips are fried in, right? Someone says, oh, I can't eat that baked potato. Hey, it's not the baked potato. It's that butter. It's that sour cream. It's those bacon bits. It's that margarine that you're putting on top of that potato, right? Think about it. Every time someone cooks some beans, they put a little oil in it. They put a little grease in it. Every time people cook some green beans, they put a little oil. They put a little grease in it. Think about this. Remove oil and bam. All right, Mr. Rountree, close us out or ask questions.
Yeah, let's.
Anybody feel like this tonight? It's the simplest, smallest move you can make to drastically reduce your calories. People are trying all kinds of this thing. Crazy.
Questions, comments, suggestions. Talk to us. What did you think? Did the numbers blow your mind? Were you surprised? Were you surprised to learn that just 2 tablespoons of oil a day over a year is the same calorie differential as not eating for 43 days?
Or from running every 340 minutes, 365 days in a row. 40 minutes a day, driving to the gym, driving back to the gym. Hey, I got to lose this weight. I don't understand why I ain't losing this weight. Or they could just remove this. Man, crazy.
Questions,
Crazy.
comments, suggestions. What do you think? Tell me what you think.
Hey man, I think that's amazing. I never
thought about it like that before, but that's really, really incredible mathematics right there. It really tells the story, man. Yeah.
And
I think I could do that today.
we've actually seen it. As a matter of fact, a daily huddle regular, Andrea Villa, when she went through the challenge, she was already vegan. She said the only thing that she did differently in her 5-day challenge was remove oil. That's all she did different. That's all she did different than she normally. And she lost 5 pounds in 5 days. That's all she did. And she lost 5 pounds in 5 days. Yeah, Gio.
This is beautiful stuff, really. Thank you for bringing this and doing the work that you do. Such a blind spot for me and for so many like me. I wanted to ask you, and for tips, it's when we're cooking, those people, regular human beings, not like you guys, you know, who are not regular monsters, but regular human beings like me.
Monsters.
When we're cooking, we use oil so that the stuff doesn't get stuck in the pan, you know.
Yep.
We use oil so that the ingredients, the condiments and the flavor, you know, gives flavor to the food. And it's kind of what we have inherited over the years, right? On how to cook.
100%.
What's the tip? What's a tip so that the food doesn't get stuck in the pan? And
I'll give you two. I'll give you two. So one great thing to do that really just seasons things like crazy. If you're, let's say you're sauteing vegetables, for example, in a skillet, use you a little bit of vegetable broth. And if you want to speed it up and you're not using fresh, you can even get frozen, like frozen broccoli, frozen blend of veggies, which is faster because you don't have to cut it up and everything. It's kind of already cut up for you. And that's what we teach a lot of the people, just because it's simple and most people are strapped for time. They don't want to cook for a long, long time. Fresh is always, ideal, but I use frozen like crazy. And you can just grab that bag. You don't have to add anything to it, because the interesting thing with the frozen is as it starts cooking in the skillet, it starts melting. But as it starts melting, it starts evaporating. So the ratio of how fast that while you saute it, it actually is. And by the time it gets completely through and through, then you're good and you can just season it as you'd like to. On a second note, one thing there's possibility, if you're really used to using a lot of heavy oil with your sauteed vegetables, the brain gravitates to fat. Because it's scarce in nature. And so there might be something that you're sitting there and it tastes the same, but for some reason your brain says, seems like it needs a little something. You don't know what it is. What that is it's not getting the dopamine hit that it had been getting, because fat gives you a dopamine hit in the brain. So you want to replace that dopamine hit with another fat, but you want to do it with a whole food plant. So what you want to do is you could take a handful of raw cashews, you could blend them up in water and actually put them in the skillet to cook with the sauteed vegetables, or like a spoonful of avocado. Why did I say those two things? The reason why I said those two things is both of those are really high in fat, but you kept the fiber. And even though nuts are the second highest calorie food that exists on planet Earth, they're still, remember how I said that like boneless, skinless chicken breast, for example, was like around 800, right? Like 750, 800 calorie density. You want your average to be below 600, but that's boneless, skinless chicken is fairly close to the red line, even though we don't recommend it, but it is fair. Like it's better than, donuts, right? Which is way higher. And the highest calorie substance on earth is oil. The second highest calorie substance is nuts and seeds. Okay. But it's still half that of oil. Oil is so calorie dense, it's 4,000. Nuts and seeds are 2,000 calories per pound. So you still got half. So you've still cut your calories in half, but you've kept the phytonutrients, you've kept the fiber, you've kept those things, and you're not using as much, and it's mixing with water. So it's even diluting the calories of the nuts even more, because a nut is solid, right? So to get it smooth, you have to puree it in a blender. And so then you can put that on there and it actually will become a little sauce for your sauteed vegetables, which actually tastes absolutely amazing. And it will coat it, and then it will help the seasonings like the garlic and the and the onion and the different types of seasons, black pepper and chili powder and whatever cumin and whatever else you're going to use, and it will help it bind to the actual vegetables themselves, and they'll actually taste even better than they did before. So hopefully that is at least 2 hacks that would be very helpful. Cool. And it's top of the hour.
Okay, my friends, I got 30 minutes after the hour, which
hey, let me say one more thing. So y'all can't join our 5-day challenge right now, but if anybody's out there watching this or you're watching on replay, next month we'll have another one. And so you can go to theredlinechallenge.com if you want us to coach you for 5 days, completely cram it into your brain and challenge yourself to do it. It's really expensive. Okay. So brace yourself. It's $7 for 5 days. So, you know, but you get us for 5 days doing this with you. And if you thought that oil thing was a big thing, you ain't sound nothing yet. So, all right, Vince.
Very good. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that you found today's talk helpful and actionable, something that you can put into your daily life that'll make a difference. And as closing, I have a couple of comments that I want you to think about for today. The first is, you touch your face like this. This is that's the one face that you have. You've only got one body. You've only got one body in this lifetime. If you don't take care of this body, where are you going to live? You've only got one body in this lifetime. So eat as though your life depends on it, because it does. My name is Vince Rountree. Rawlin, Vanatta, and I are co-hosts of the show, and we thank you for tuning in. Have a good day.
Thank you, Rawlin, Vince. Thank you, guys.
You got it, Stan.
Stan the man.
Yo, yo.